recently I've been trying to purchase a few Pateks. The market has been going up a lot, and sometimes here and there you'll get watches that are kind of too good to be true. I was gonna purchase a 5723 1R. I'm still looking into it, but it was advertised as a 2024. Without even getting the watch and getting close-ups of the papers, I've analyzed that it doesn't have the New Styles printed stamp on it. It has the stamp with ink. It's not printed, so I know it's not a 2024, even though the watch is advertised as a 24. So right off the bat, no, it's not a 2024. I would still get the watch. Everything else looks legit. Obviously, our team's gonna authenticate it prior to paying, but because of that, it's gonna be worth significantly less. We also almost bought a 5990 1R 2022. Unfortunately, just by getting pics from the seller, the papers were fake. Well, yeah, right now, market's going up, as we've said in the last 3 vlogs, and it's continuing to go up. But when you see a price that's too good to be true, and it's not like that far off from the regular pricing, just always do your due diligence because there's definitely issues out there. So you definitely need to know your stuff.
That happened to me twice over the weekend with a customer that was quoting me prices that he was getting on a 5740, and he said new class 2024 new 225, and then he said 2023 brand new for 220. And then I said, give me a picture of the papers because that's just not the market right now. 2024 is probably around like 245-ish, right? And then he like asked the dealer if he could get the pictures. He's gonna basically said that he was gonna like authenticate them with another secondary dealer, and then the guy just said it's sold. So fortunately there's some of that. So just be wary of prices. And I mean, I think we're working on another one, the 5164R. And people just get desperate to sell and they only sell to retail with fake papers. So if you guys have any questions about your papers, if you're gonna go through someone else, more than happy to take a look at them and just tell you guys what to look for.
Huge thing. So everything spiked when all the money was released during COVID and people were buying stuff like crazy. And then once the Ukraine war got announced, I just remember being at a trade show and people were like making deals and then just like canceling all their deals, you know, just because everyone was so scared of the market and things just like dropped like a falling knife. This spike is definitely different. Actually, I think with retail rising, definitely makes sense. It's not really going up that much. It's not like it did before. Things went like up 20, 30% in the past, like in a month. It was absolutely crazy. But then I just remember a lot of buyers like backing out on deals because they're too scared. It really separates the men from the boys in situations like that, and on keeping your word and keeping a deal, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few deals where I think we're a little bit sick to our stomach because I think we sold it too cheap, but I mean, it is what it is. We're gonna have seller's integrity, so whatever number we agree upon, regardless of the market. There's a few dealers that are quite the opposite. Garrett had one on hold last week and then pretty much at a number, and then we raised the price like 10%.
Yeah, said it was sold to someone else, then came back as available and then raised it like 10%. It's happened a few times.
We sold a few Journes that I think we ended up selling 35, 40K too cheap, but you know, we made our customer happy and they're in it at a nice number. So we'll
yeah,
stick to it,
and then we told the customer like, look, we have it sold somewhere else, you know, a lot more, you know, you got a really good deal. Would you consider selling it back and making a profit? Sometimes they're happy to do that. Other times the client wants to keep it. We're fine with that, you know, happy for the client, try and learn the market better and better, but we stick to our word. We wouldn't do anything shady, like not sending a watch when a deal's made, you know, even though we messed up. Now, if there's like a blatant screw up, you know, miscommunication on like what the actual watch is, you know, both parties always understand that, you move on. But yeah, when we sell things too cheap, we always stick to it. And those customers always come back and they realize, you know, that we keep our word and we're good people. So it definitely helps in the long run for sure. Since over the last 6 months, we've been buying a lot of Journe. It's amazing to see that we've finally been able to fill this tray of 18 watches of Journe. There's a lot of work that's been put in on sourcing these watches. It takes a lot of time, some from our office overseas in Hong Kong, locally. It just takes a lot of time to find these watches, and especially at the right prices. So this is definitely a lot of hard work. Also be able to have the money to afford this inventory, a long time coming. Now, a lot of people in the market say that we've only been doing Journe. That's not true. We're actually looking to stock a lot of Patek and RM at the moment. So if you have any Patek or RM, make sure to hit us up because we're trying to buy a lot. It's just been hard to find as well. Inventory has been very scarce at the right prices. Dealers are asking a lot higher prices now than before with the market going up. I think once it kind of gets in that trend, dealers kind of hype it up too much, and then there becomes a point where we say to ourselves like, look, these prices are too out of whack. But I think where they're at right now is fine, but they keep pushing and pushing. With the watches that we sell here at G&G, we also really pick watches that we're evangelists behind and that we really love. So Journe is one of those brands. Also Richard Mille, Patek, Rolex, and AP. Those are our favorites, especially all the pieces over 150K. The rarer pieces is what we really specialize in. I feel like that's just natural as time goes on and you build your business, you know, start from more basic and then go up. But really we're buying everything. Yesterday we bought a 126500 black Daytona. I can now say that we're also, if anyone has like any independents, crayon, trivia, all that kind of stuff, feel free to hit us up. We're interested in as well. I personally get really interested in new brands, new movements, new styles, and I like to offer them to our customer if I think it's right and if I think like there's demand on those pieces, obviously, because there's a lot of different companies out there. And I like the really niche, like rare stuff. So we're dipping into that more and more, trying to learn more and more about it. It is definitely a learning curve. And every time you buy a watch, you take a risk because you really don't know pricing exactly until you've sold it before, can kind of feel out the market. That's the best way to really learn. Just like anything else in business, you got to risk it and make that first investment on a, you know, rare independent or micro brand to kind of figure it out. It's not like, you know, there's an encyclopedia where you just figure it out, because a lot of those watches aren't even posted on online, Chrono 24, etc. You can't find it. So it's a lot of just figuring it out yourself and risking it.
I feel like it also kind of boils down to we're just listening to our customers' wants and needs. We didn't just randomly get Journes and hope to kind of get new customers, which we have gotten a lot of new customers, because prior to this we didn't have a lot of Journe. But what we're seeing is like a lot of our bigger customers are actually moving from Patek into FP Journe, especially over the last like 4 or 5 months. Prior to that, we wouldn't really like stock it. We were open to just like taking it in on trade. And then obviously I feel like last 6 months, as you guys notice, our stock has been rising. It's also upon request from our clients. So I mean, some of this stuff, it's actually just crazy to think that we have 2 black labels resonances.
2 TNs, 2 Elegants, 2 Centigraphs, 2 Optimums.
What's like a good comparison? It's like having 2 Bugatti Vivos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, it takes a lot of time, a lot of time. Different time zones, waking up in the middle of the night, trying to figure out and get these pieces. In the last few years, especially, Journe has gone up a lot. The brand started in 1999, and just like any brand, also Richard Mille was started around 2001, so roughly the same time. They built it slowly, just based on the horology and uniqueness of their timepieces, and just like having your hand, it's just like a wow factor versus other brands.
Journe is more built off of like passion of horology versus hype. Like they don't do any sort of like advertising.
Yeah.
Privately funded, and it's all just, you know, I mean, he just stuck to the bread and butter, made a few movements, and then he just stuck to it for years over.
Yeah, and everything was really unique versus other brands like Richard Mille that it took them a little bit to blow up. I think they really kicked into gear in like 2017, so I guess 16 years. They used to go way below retail. They make a lot more watches. A lot of what they did is they marketed a lot versus Journe didn't at all, and it's now really catching fire. The other brands we work with, I mean, man, they've been around for ages. We just sold a 175th anniversary Patek that was like a 2015. These are definitely, like, in consideration, very, very new brands.
Think about how expensive one of these watches are going to be in 175 years.
And Rolex was founded in 1905. It's crazy how Patek was founded so much earlier. 1839, Patek was founded. That's insane. In Switzerland, in Schweiz, 186 years old. That's crazy. Yeah, if we did watch trivia, I don't think any of us would have known that. That's like so deep. AP, Audemars Piguet.
Well, they're both by Gerald Genta, right?
1875, 150 years old. So those two brands are really old. You would think naturally, just from how popular Rolex is and seeing all the vintage Rolexes, they would be the older brand, because it's vintage Rolex, let's face it, sells really, really well. I don't know any really, really old Pateks selling that well. I think, like, you know, the stuff in the 2000s, some of the complicated Pateks, you know, are still selling really well at auction and are continually going up, like some of the Grails. But yeah, that's crazy. They recently have discontinued some of the boutique editions, which is the black dial with rose gold. There's some that are still available, but they're switching over to blue dial with platinum. Other than that, there's rumors that the CB, the blue chronometre, is going to be discontinued. They're having problems making the dials, so there's a lot of hype in that, so they've gone up. But everything that he does is very, very unique.
Yeah, I was calling about it. No, it was 5711 I saw on, like, I don't know if it was like Chrono 24 or eBay or something. I think it's like a 2021.
What dial?
It's rose gold.
Oh, rose gold, yeah, like the 5711 1R?
Yeah, like the traditional 5711 with the brown dial, black dial, whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have it. 2022 or 2021, new movement, 5711 1R. I mean, I can't even say that it's been worn because rose gold scratches pretty easily and there's no like signs of wear really.
Got it. Does it have all the original links? Has it been sized?
Yeah, complete links, complete set, everything you need that's important.
Willing to let it go for?
So I actually just sent a request to my tech guy to raise prices 3% across the board, everything Patek, because the market's gone up a lot. I can do pretty much what I have it listed for it. I mean, in about an hour, it's gonna be around 193.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll keep it in mind, but we're seeing more scarcity with these watches. Prices are going up, and we honestly have low Patek stock right now. We're not in like a super big rush to sell it. Yeah, the new movement is also definitely more scarce. So yeah, right now, tech stock in general has been hard to just continue to re-up. We're seeing a lot of prices go up a lot, as we've talked about a few times, and it's kind of made us a little bit, not like sketched out, but we're definitely being more cautious on our stock pricing. I mean, we've bought in a few watches and paid high, and we were lucky that the market continued to go up, and we're also quoting pretty high on trade-ins. I think that right now is a relatively good time to get out of a Patek Philippe if you have one that you don't really wear, because you're probably gonna get a really good premium on it based off if you bought it like last year or the year before. Not like COVID prices, but over the last couple of years, it's definitely increased quite a bit over the past 6 months. With that being said, we're definitely gonna be a little bit more aggressive with our pricing, and we're just gonna stick to a number, knowing that a lot of dealers are kind of going through the same thing right now where they are having issues keeping stock, getting like these more specific watches in stock. So we're just gonna try to stick to this number, and I'm sure it'll sell for that or more. Hi, this is Alec from G&G Timepieces. I have a missed call from you.
I just called in earlier. It's the 5167R. So upon putting it into checkout, I noticed that there was some kind of a 3% fee. I was just wondering, is that inclusive for wire transfers or?
If you did a wire transfer, there'd be no fees. So it'd probably be best if I just text you. As soon as we hang up the phone, this is my personal cell. I just need your full name and address, and then I'll make you an invoice, and then I'll have the wire instructions.
All right, sounds good, man. I'll send you a text. Thanks for getting back to me.
All right, thanks. All right, bye-bye. That's relatively rare. A lot of times people call in and kind of negotiate price and kind of just like feel out the watch in regards to its complete set condition, but this guy just literally put it in his cart and he was just gonna check out for a $100,000 watch, so you can't really complain. We love the contactless sales sometimes. We actually have this one client that Lake dealt with. There was a guy in Chrono 24 who bought a super expensive AP, and it was like a new release, like open work, paid this crazy price. We hand delivered it to him, and he just said, yeah, I wanted the watch. He was so rich that the number didn't matter, and he doesn't like talking to people, so he just checked out, and then we just gave it to him. It was sweet.